Welcome to the SystemCrash Podcast, the podcast that gets less views than a cat licking its dick. You know.
What the fuck?
Those videos of cats licking dicks, they get a lot of views.
Oh.
You know?
I think those would exist actually.
They probably do.
I want you to think of a video that actually might not exist.
Might not exist?
Yeah. Now that is
freaking Rob Ford smoking crack. That doesn't exist.
You know, I really tried looking for that video.
It's not.
I cannot find it.
It's not real. Come on, think about it. If you're gonna smoke crack, right? You're gonna do it with at least like 2 other people, right? You're not gonna have like a one-on-one crack smoking, right?
Wasn't he with a group?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a picture of him with like
a group? Yeah, a group, right? If you're in a group, right? There's gonna be more than one smartphone, right? There's gonna be more than one camera. If you're smoking crack with the mayor, you're gonna videotape that shit, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Well, did they address that thing already, or is he still?
Well, what happened was, apparently, what people say for why they think it's true is because he started firing people, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they were talking about how, you should definitely go to see rehab if this is a serious problem. But at the same time, by saying, if you're going to be saying, yes, I'll go to rehab, legally you're also saying that I've smoked crack, so you're going to lose your job. So no wonder people are getting fired.
Did he hold the press conference yet to see if he denied or?
What happened was, I think his lawyer told him don't do it until the right time. I think like last week he finally said like that everything's BS. And now I think today some Gawker editor was like, I think the tape was damaged or like it went missing. So clearly it never existed. And then on top of that they were saying, the guy who has the tape like ran away to like Mexico or something.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. If you have a they want to sell that tape, right? If you want to sell that tape, you don't go to Mexico, right? No. You sell it to the people that want the tape. What's the drug
cartel gonna do with the tape?
Yeah, exactly. You don't go to Mexico.
He accidentally lost it by accidentally breaking it.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
It's stupid. And there's on top of that, I kind of think this is just a rumor so that like they can sell crack more. You know what I mean? Like drug dealers will be like, we got that Tom Ford shit right here.
That'd be really funny actually. If there was a stock, I was gonna say, what's the stock market for crack right now?
Crack.
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
Probably do. It probably does on the street.
Yeah. So yesterday we saw Great Gatsby.
Yeah. Cindy really liked it.
I really liked it.
Tell the people why you really liked it.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good. Pretty much everything about it was just
sounds like that
straight from
Sounds like that weatherman from Family Guy. It was good.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just did it feel long to you? It didn't feel long to me. I know it might have felt long to you because you got hungry like the last.
Yeah, the last half an hour I got really really hungry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just the beginning just dragged on for me. It was like the movie really picked up once they found Leonardo, like the Great Gatsby. Once he was introduced into the movie, then it actually became good.
It was super funny because we had a whole row of girls sitting behind us. Yeah. And like. I don't. Is this a spoiler? I don't know. If you haven't seen this, watch it already. It's been out for like
it's
2
in
weeks?
The trailer. It's in the trailer. They open.
Oh, it's in the trailer.
When Leonardo DiCaprio his first appearance, and he just like smiles with
he'll be like Tobey Maguire's like, I don't know who this Great Gatsby is, but he sounds like a really rich fellow, and he's like, that's me, and then DiCaprio turns around, fireworks in the background, and then like the music reaches a climax, and he's holding a wine glass and going, raising it up. And then as soon as he raises his wine glass, like 10 girls behind us just like had an orgasm.
Yeah.
And they're just like, DiCaprio. And I don't know, I just smiled at that. I was like, man.
It's funny how movies can trick like they know what response they want for people to have, and they just add like robotic, like just generic things to get that response out of like either a woman or a guy. So if they want a response out of a girl to scream loud, they're gonna have like some like slow-mo shot of like Leonardo DiCaprio just turning around and being like, "Hey, ladies, what's up?" And then like if you want like a guy's response, I don't know, short tip. You know what I say? It's not very hard.
You know,
it's weird how people say they're complex, but when you get down to it, yeah, especially women will be like, "You guys don't understand me."
I remember there was I don't know.
But come on, you're fucking orgasming at like something that was like a cookie cutter situation, right?
There's some, I don't know what the Persian comedian is, but he said every Persian girl you meet, they'll say the exact same thing. And I think this applies to almost every woman out there.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not your typical Persian woman.
Yeah.
Or typical blonde or whatever and stuff like that. And have you heard anybody actually say that?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody say that, but once I do, typical? I'm just going to laugh at them.
Yeah. What is the typical? What are you trying to insinuate, that there's like some like status quo of girls?
So if someone said they were typical blonde, hold on, let's think about this.
Yeah.
If some woman called herself a typical blonde, what would that consist of? Being dumb?
Yeah.
So it's all stereotypes.
Yeah, but as a woman, you're saying I'm not like a normal blonde, but at the same time, you're perpetuating this idea that there is a stereotype for blondes.
Yeah. How is it?
Yeah, you're perpetuating this whole idea that blonde women should act like this, even though you're not acting like it, even though you're not this typical blonde, quotes, you still believe that there's some stereotype.
That's like a turn off. It's like the least convincing quote someone could say to you at like a blind date.
Yeah, it is.
If you went on a blind date, what is the biggest turn off a girl could say? What's the first thing a girl will say to you and you'll be like, fuck this, I'm out?
Oh, like, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a nice girl and everything, but don't fuck with me." Yeah. And it's like that kind of shit will be like, "Well, thank you. I just said hi. You don't have to attack me like this." I mean, like, come on.
I remember, this is completely unrelated.
It's completely, you're showing how insecure you are. Sorry, continue.
It's completely unrelated. But I remember in the news somewhere, like a blind mother in China sold like her 3 kids because the husband like is good for nothing and like she had to get money.
She sold her kids.
3 kids. She only has 1 left now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pictures of her and her surroundings. And you look at it and they have and she's blind, right? And I was like, how did she set up all like the tents and like the decoration and stuff like that if the husband's good for nothing? Like pretty much if the husband's good for nothing, you would automatically assume he's never at home.
She said that? She said my husband's good for nothing? Was this a documentary or?
It's like an article.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe they made it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. But how does a blind woman take care of like 1 baby by herself? Like,
yeah. How does she take care of 4?
I guess she didn't.
Oh. Wait, was she the one saying my husband's good for nothing?
Yeah.
But she's blind.
Yeah.
So like, what did she do?
I have no idea. Which sounds, this article is so fishy.
Yeah.
Just the aspect of having blind is supposed to make you feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't.
Yeah.
Which you don't feel sorry for. It just raises more questions. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What do you do? How did she have sex in the first place? Oh, maybe she wasn't born blind.
Well, for a woman, you just have to stand there, right? Like you just have to lie down, right?
Well, she was like a poor village. That seems like the worst thing. If you live in like a really poor and shitty area, neighborhood anywhere in the world, and you're blind,
or any disability,
or with any disability. No, with some disabilities you can survive, but being blind, I think is like is the crippler. Like that's the one.
Like having a handicap.
That's the one thing you can't do. If you had no arms, you could still do a few things. Like this one woman, she was born without any arms, but she can still take care of her kids, and she still has a job, and she can drive and shit.
She can drive?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
She has her left foot on the steering wheel, her right foot is like at the gas and like brake, and she rotates, and she's like super fucking flexible, which she has to be, right?
Yeah.
And she dresses her kid that way. She washes her baby that way. I'm going to assume she doesn't cook, because
that would be dangerous.
That would be dangerous.
Yeah.
So the husband takes care of that. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's crazy. So she just uses her her toes.
Toes, yeah.
Holy crap! It's weird. Did you ever see those like primal children, or like those children that I didn't know this happens, but apparently kids get lost in the woods and they get raised by like wolves and shit, and their like hands and their feet will actually like calcify to the point where it kind of looks like almost wolf like paws. Yeah,
Whoa, that's nuts. That
it's
isn't
crazy.
that
It's crazy how that situation happened multiple times.
really?
Yeah, and apparently like somewhere in Romania, it happened. Like this kid got raised by a bunch of dogs, like a pack of dogs, and there's another one by wolves. It's crazy. It's pretty recent. Well, pretty recent meaning like 20 years
ago.
20
years ago.
Within 20 years.
Okay, that's not too bad. I remember. Can you think of a scenario where these two people know something? Like they're the only people in the world that know this one thing, but they refuse to share their knowledge with each other. That would somehow, like, complete the cycle of life or some shit. Like
Probably something to do with aliens.
aliens.
Probably something to do with aliens. Where you'd be put in a situation where you can't tell one guy that you've seen aliens, but at the same time, there's probably another situation explaining what the aliens were.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Because there's this article I saw where there's only 2 people on the planet left that speak this one language, and they refuse to speak to each other because they hate each other.
Yeah.
And so like the language is they still have an archive of it, but they just don't want to talk to each other, so they can't talk to anybody.
That is crazy.
It's really fucking funny.
And can they speak other languages, or is it just that one language?
They were pretty old, so probably just that one language.
God damn.
Can you still learn a language if you're like 80 years old? Or do you just say fuck it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some cases of like people breaking the odds, but like at that point, it's extremely hard because your brain's not what it used to be. Especially as a kid, especially in the developmental years, your brain is basically like a sponge. You'll be able to learn like multiple languages. You know, it's like your brain on steroids. But at that age, it's just like give up.
Yeah.
Just die already. Do you find that like we should respect our elders? Like
yeah,
like for being elderly, we should respect them.
Yeah.
Just based on being elderly.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they survived.
Because they survived.
They survived so much shit.
I guess so.
Because
I mean, like,
but
I don't think you deserve my respect just for being old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would still respect them because they've seen so much shit. They manage. Because think about it, like.
Yeah, you can see shit.
Pretty much anyone that's in their 60s now.
Yeah.
60s? Maybe in their 60s now. Wait. When was the Vietnam War?
1960s?
60s? Okay, maybe even older, but I don't know. I still respect the older people. Like, you shouldn't treat them like shit.
No. You should respect everybody, but I'm not saying just solely based on
Give them special
age and experience. You should earn my respect.
Really?
I mean, like, if you're a total douchebag, right? I'm not gonna give you respect. Like, if you're a freaking like a skinhead, or you know what I mean? Like, you don't deserve my respect just because you experience shit. And plus, what is age really? Because we think of age as just being linear, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is it just experience?
Just experience, I think.
Because you can have more experiences if you're rich than you're poor, right? You can afford to have better experiences. You can probably have more experience by the time you're 15 if you're rich than a poor person that's 80.
Yeah.
So at what point do you look at it as being like, I respect you because you're old, or I expect you because you have experience? What would you...
Experience is more respectable.
Experience is more respectable. Okay, so that's what really is...
It's like, have you ever seen this... I don't know. Rich kids, if they're maybe rich kids if they're 16, they're like filthy rich. You know, they're not gonna have a lot of experiences. The typical rich kid experience, I would assume someone would have, is just going to parties, like shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever tell you there's this one website?
I just realized we just skipped Great Gatsby. We'll go back to it.
We'll go back to Great Gatsby later.
Okay,
like there's this one website dedicated to showing images off of rich kids that they had on Instagram, and like they are filthy fucking rich. Like there's this one guy, he has like a huge ass bathroom and he has champagne all over the place, and he's like, yeah, this sucks. And like you see him just lying like on a wall with drinking champagne, like bottles of champagne, and like this like gold plated bathroom or some shit, like the faucets and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's some other guys with like this guy got like a Lamborghini or something, and he's just sitting on it, and he says like, I didn't want this color.
You know, that kind of reminds me of, you know, the guy who developed Buddhism? It's like Gotham something.
Sure.
Gotham
Sure.
Thearapan or something. He was like a prince, right? And he basically, he could get, he was like filthy rich, right?
Oh.
But his most famous quote is that life is suffering. So at that level, you would think that his life has, like, for his entire life has just been defined by consumption, just by consuming material goods, right?
Uh-huh.
Because he's so rich, right?
Uh-huh.
That's all it is to his life. So I guess that's how he explains that life is suffering because because you're still stuck in this cycle of like constant reincarnation. But at the same time, you would have to wonder if he thinks life is suffering just because of the fact that his life was empty. All he had was just consuming goods, right? I mean, that's not going to bring you happiness at all. So, I don't know. Like, I think it's strange to think of life as suffering, because when you experience reality, if you just stay back and experience reality, don't go on your phone, or like don't look at your phone and text people, and just experience reality. Don't isolate yourself like that, and just take away that consumption of material goods. All that, you're just isolating yourself from reality. You're not experiencing reality at its level, and that's what's gonna make you happy.
Yeah, it's like a culture confusion. We should make a like a top 3 right now. Top 3 culture confusions of this decade, maybe.
What do you mean by
century.
culture confusion?
Just shit that doesn't make sense. Like relating to what's happening for teenagers, like common occurrences for teenagers that we can understand. I know maybe I'm not defining it right. I'm probably not, but it's that shit you were talking about. Like there's a group of friends, they meet up and then they talk for 5 minutes, and then for the next half hour,
they'll be on their phones.
They're on their phones texting or playing games.
Yeah.
And have you actually ever seen this? I've seen this in the Tim Hortons downstairs, and it is the saddest fucking thing. Cause like what I saw was, I was reading one time, right? And I took a break, and I looked at the Tim Hortons, and I was like, wow, it got busy in that like hour or whatever I was reading. And there were these 2 guys sitting at this table, right? And they were just talking with each other, having fun. And then I assumed they called more people to meet up, because 3 girls or whatever like sat with them. And then they started talking, right? And then I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then I went back to reading, and then I was like, oh, I'm done the chapter. I'm gonna take another break. And that happened in 5 minutes. I always keep doing that.
Yeah, that's how I study too. I
can't do it. I can't binge it all. Like people, like I've never stayed up late. Have you ever stayed up all night to study for something?
No.
I've
at
never
that point, you're punishing yourself. It's like it's like working out. You don't work out for the entire day.
Yeah.
Like you don't. If you cram in like a million crunches, you're not gonna get a 6-pack in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So whenever I hear people say like, "Man, I stayed up all night studying," and I was like, "Really? I slept at like 10, and I didn't even study."
Yeah.
It's just like it's either maybe
I know
it's something like you either had an idea of what you were doing, or that whole night you were cramming, you literally were wondering why was I there.
Exactly.
Which I found really fun. But anyways,
you're just exhausted.
But anyways, going back to that story. So like 3 girls came up, and I finished reading, and I looked at them again, and all 5 of them had their phones out. Like they're sitting all at the same table. They had their phones out, and they started like texting.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really weird. Like all at the same time. Like are they texting each other? Like what's going on? But then I ignored them for like I don't know, maybe like 10 or so minutes, and they were still doing it.
Yeah. Or you meet somebody that like it's not even that you just don't want to talk to them. It's just like it's like you're just like an acquaintance of yours, so you don't really have much to talk about. So you'll just be like, okay, I'm just gonna straight up ignore you. And
really, I wouldn't do that.
I know, but people do that.
Losers.
And then they'll be like, well, 90% of the time, if people use their phones, it's to ignore people. It's not even to like call people. It's not even to text people. It's just to be like, oh, look, I'm busy, right? And it's sorry, continue on.
Finish your thought. I don't really want to forget this, but finish your thought.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, we live in a world where we confuse busyness with like having a purpose. Like we're like,
I need to stay busy. I need to keep on working. I need to keep on piling on homework and studying just so that like I have an identity. That's who I am. I'm the guy who studies. I'm the guy who like I'm successful because I'm doing a lot of work. And I'm not saying be lazy. I'm just saying don't define yourself by work. Don't say I'm a success just because you're busy. Especially when busy is playing on your phone. Right? You're not really being successful. You're not really enjoying life.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Oh yeah. Go back to like when you said like people just ignore acquaintances because they have nothing to talk about. I think that's I don't know. I don't know how to define it, but I'll just say
that's why we have this podcast. When you think about it, a lot of our guests were kind of acquaintances, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still
Yeah, you know, I don't have that problem because if I just met someone, I'll still talk to them. But you know what? I think the biggest problem why people don't talk with acquaintances because they're afraid they'll bring up something they'll like that the other person will get turned off by. Like that kind of fear. I know for me, I don't give a shit what I talk about. I'll say the weirdest fucking thing, like, oh yeah, I had a dick on my ass the other day, and then like and then they'll be like, whoa, that's weird, right? But then like, if anything, I'm like that just makes me weird.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, you know, it's better to have like if someone went up to me and said the same thing, I'd be like, yo man, that's crazy. But then like, you know, we hit it off better. Is it hit it? Oh wait, no, we're not. I'm not dating him. But like, we talk better. We communicate better, right? And is that really something to be afraid of? Yeah. Like if I started talking about,
and if they feel uncomfortable with the way I'm talking, then how are we gonna stay comfortable as friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't care. I'll talk about them with whatever. I'm really open about everything. So, I don't know. Maybe, for me, I'll talk about fucking anything. You can ask me anything, and I'll give you, like, a straight-up answer, or the weirdest answer I can think of. Or just whatever's on my mind. But, man, I just can't stand people who... How do I say this? Just have a fear of bringing up something that'll just have the other people like, reject them.
Yeah.
I don't care if other people are like, they don't like your shit, because that's normal. Wait, what would you say is more normal? Having people not like your shit or like your shit?
Well, I guess that's the point of, I guess I would say, really as working in a society, there's different people, right? So it would be weird if they like everything you like, because there's no difference, right? And we're all different, so it'd be strange if they like the exact same stuff as you. But at the same time, you'd be like, well, you like the same stuff. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can go either way and say either way is weird. We're all different.
I guess so. I don't know. I just rather have people that are weirder than.
Yeah,
I'd rather meet weird people.
Interesting people, because weird people are interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, I don't know. If you look at, well, who's the most plain person we know at this university?
Plain. I don't know. I'm sure there's
a bunch like we don't know plain people, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of people like in like business or something that are just taking it so that they can get like an office job. And they'll get like maybe like $60,000 a year, like just like average income, and that's what they want to do for the rest of their life, right? And they've been told that's the best way to do it. And I'm not saying you're gonna live miserable. You're not gonna live miserable, right? But is that what you want to do? If that's what you want to do, then great. If you want to like work at a business, go ahead. If you want to make your own business, that's great. Like, you know, you can get your shit together. But I just think that people don't consider how much, how do I word this? How much, not effort they should put into thinking about their future.
How realistic.
Also how realistic, but how much they want to enjoy life, like what they really want. And maybe what they really want is not gonna be the same as what they want 5 years from now. You know what I want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're always gonna change. And I think
You should build yourself to the point where you want to achieve your goals, but still keep yourself open to other ideas.
Yeah, like I think for me, if I had a choice of a job, I want something that pays nice, like decent at least, right? So that when I get old, if I feel like taking a vacation somewhere, I'd be like, I guess I'll go like next year or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that in my later years I'm still flexible. I guess that's everyone's preference,
just
right?
to be free?
To be flexible in your later years. Like when you have, once your kid
Like retired?
turns, not retired, like once you start to have kids and once they turn 5, so maybe when you're like
Middle-aged?
35 or so,
middle-aged.
then you have more freedom. And like from then on, you just get more and more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something for me. Or would you say that's something for everybody? That's what everybody's...
Freedom?
No, like, you know...
The freedom to do what you want when you're...
At one point.
At one point?
Or at a later point rather than...
Now. So make sacrifices for that freedom.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
It's funny how we equate like money to freedom. Like we live.
Yeah.
It's the more I think about society as a whole, the more I wonder how we created this structure that equates being free and doing what you want with money. Where like, I understand if you want something, you have to pay for it, right? That's basic economics. But where did this system come from? Why did we think that this was the best system? Why do you think this was the system that would make us happy? Or is it just making other people happy? And we have to play along with them. Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Because it seems like this whole system of gaining capital and gaining money was just invented by some like rich people so that they can stay in power.
Yeah.
And then they create this game where like they get the money, so they're winning the game, and you guys have to play the game with me, and you have to try to climb the ladder, but really the ladder's fixed.
I don't know what to say in regards to that. Like, why did we accept it? We just rolled with it. Like
we couldn't
ignore it.
Yeah,
it
we
just
couldn't ignore
made
it
sense to
because the people who are in power put it on us, right?
I guess that too. Yeah, it just made sense. It just made sense to roll with it.
Yeah.
You work for your food.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You have to work for what you want.
But at
a crazy level, I don't know how it got to that.
If you look at like primitive cultures, right? They don't have any idea what money is, right? And yet they still eat what they want. They can do whatever they want. They can have any rituals they want. And yet we look at them and be like, these guys are idiots because they don't know what money is. They don't have an iPad, right? It's the same thing with old people. We think old people are stupid because they don't know how to use computers. But at the same time, they can look at you and be like, yeah, but I killed Nazis.
I think it just means that it's just a sacrifice for, what's the right word, progression?
For progression, yeah.
That's all it is, I think. Because if we stayed, as in like we were fine now, like we're content with everything, then it would just stay the same. Because with all these other things, we have to sacrifice
It's this idea
so much shit just to like, reach the next level.
Is just this pursuit of happiness, right?
Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness that like
we believe that to progress we need to become happier. So we think that this progression of like we need more Xboxes, we need more iPads. This is progression, so this is going to make us more happy.
Yeah, it's everything's in the name of what's a better word for progression? All in for the name
Evolution?
of
Evolution. Social evolution.
I want to say complication, but that's not right. Which is pretty much the same thing. But yeah. Anyways, let's move away from this topic for now.
Okay.
Let's move away from this topic.
It's going too deep.
You want to talk about the Xbox?
Xbox One?
PS4?
Yes.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
So, what are you more drawn to right now? PS4 or Xbox One?
Well, I guess, to be honest, I know a lot of people are talking shit about the Xbox One, but we know they're going to basically facilitate the same gaming experience as the PS4. They're going to have the same graphics, they're going to have the same games generally, maybe not Uncharted, but like, they're going to have
their own exclusives.
Yeah, they're going to have their own exclusives. They're probably going to have like a Gears or like a Halo, whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
and on top of that, they're gonna have the cable integration. They're gonna have apps for your TV, apps for your gaming system. So I think that's gonna be integrated better.
I don't have one of the pet peeves of everybody for the Xbox One is it's a multimedia center now, as opposed to just a straight gaming console as it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But if anything, isn't that a plus?
Yeah, isn't that a plus? Like, why are you looking at it negatively?
Yeah, because you still have the
we
better hardware, like better games, but you can now just do more things if you want to.
Yeah.
Right? But once the price drops, well, how much is it priced at now?
I know the PS4, it was leaked for however many euros, but I converted the euros and it was like something like $500+.
I guess that's why people are mad. It's because they're paying more just because of they strictly just want the gaming console, but they're paying more for like the multimedia.
But they haven't released the price tag of the Xbox, so.
Oh really?
Yeah, they don't even know how much they're going to be paying. They're basically going to be both $500+. Right?
I wouldn't think. I would price it like no more than $500+.
Yeah.
That's just me though. How much was the Xbox 360 when it came out?
500.
500 really?
It was.
Oh, fuck me.
Do you remember, like the I think it was the Dreamcast when it was released? Some consoles were $1,000+.
Whoa.
In the 90s.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
man.
I was fucking surprised.
Yeah. So I think I forgot what it was. I think it was the Sega Dreamcast. It was a really failed console.
Yeah.
And I was wondering why, but it turns out the reason why is because it was so easy to hack. It was the easiest thing to hack because all you had to do was cut a hole at the top of the Sega Dreamcast. I think it was the Dreamcast. I don't remember what other one. Like I heard this on the Rooster Teeth podcast, and they said the reason why it failed was because it was so easy to hack. Because all you had to do was cut a hole at the top. Literally, you put in a CD, like into the tray, and then you take the CD out, and then you put whatever burned disc in the you burn onto a CD, you just put it in.
Yeah.
And it was that easy to hack. Play any game you want on the Sega Dreamcast. That's one of the reasons why it failed so bad.
Wow.
Just so sad. But yeah. But so I'm assuming you're leaning more towards the Xbox, right? That's just because you had it for longer, right?
The Xbox 360?
Oh, Xbox One, sorry, as opposed to buying a PS4.
They're gonna have the same graphic capabilities, so. But the thing that's stupid about Xbox is one, there's no more free live, and apparently they're gonna increase the price to like 80.
Live was never free.
Yeah, they don't. Well, I'm comparing it to PS4, like the online experience is free there. But they have like PlayStation Plus, which is like $50 a year, and apparently they give you like free games and stuff. So that's the experience on PS4 is gonna be a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you have to keep the Xbox One online for.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. They said that the Xbox has to be connected online, like you have to, or else you can't trick it as turn it on and it's plugged in and then play a game and then turn it and then plug it out. No, because if you do that, it'll give you a 10-minute warning to plug it back into the internet, or else the console shuts off.
Really?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
And that
What
sounds
if
like
you
bullshit.
you'd have to get unlimited bandwidth, which
Yeah.
which is gonna run you deep.
And that's another problem. But for me, I just don't want to plug shit in sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you
Just-
just
I don't want to deal with it. I just want to
Yeah.
play games.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you think the Xbox One will come out? So that's assuming it has like up to date specs. The Kinect is included. It has all these other because you know what's crazy? It has 3 operating systems. The Xbox. It has the gaming operating system. It has the dashboard system, and the third is a separate dedicated system to interconnect them.
Oh,
So that's how when you do gestures, you can combine them both. Like you can play games on the left side of the screen, and on the right side you can watch or go on Skype or some shit.
yeah.
I guess that's how the 3 operating systems are used.
Mhm.
But how much do you think it would cost an Xbox One when it first comes out? I might say $650.
650.
I might say $650. Which probably wouldn't make any
Well,
sense.
they
I'm
wanna
pretty
keep-
sure it's
yeah.
gonna be cheap, like a lot cheaper. Maybe even like.
They want to compete with Apple TV. Like Microsoft wants to compete with Apple TV, right? I think that's why they want to integrate it. So it has to be maybe a similar price to Apple TV. How much is Apple TV? 300. But it doesn't.
I don't
have
know.
It doesn't have any games. I'm not sure.
And then
So,
of
yeah.
course if let's just say the Xbox One is at $600, PS4 is clearly gonna be at least $100 more, which is freaking nuts.
Mhm.
You still remember when the PlayStation Live was hacked by Anonymous?
Oh yeah.
That's so
Was it
fucking
actually
funny.
anonymous? That's what people say.
From what I remember, it was a rumor to be anonymous, but it turns out it was true because the guy that actually he got famous for hacking the very first iPhone.
Mhm.
Because the very first iPhone could only use a specific SIM card, like AT&T, I think. But he hacked it so you could use any SIM card that you want. And so
Oh.
that made him like super famous. And I think he made some money off of that as well. Because he would sell them as well. But then his next endeavor was to make the PS3 backwards compatible, I think. Backwards compatible, I think.
PS3.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Oh.
Slim.
The Slim. Oh no! Before that, it was PS3 related. I think he tried to put like an emulator or hack it or something like that, and then he tried to make it backwards compatible or some shit, and then Sony like sued him, and then how Anonymous got included or not included? What's the right word? Involved.
Mhm.
I don't know how, but they just jumped in and they said like it's for the freedom of the people, and they hacked the servers and shit, and it was nuts. Like the first glimpse of this
For that guy, because he got fired,
for
right?
that guy. Not fired, sued.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much he lost.
Wasn't there some rumor that like it was some Sony Sony programmer that got fired and he hacked in? I don't know. Maybe,
I don't know
maybe I
about
was
that.
thinking
The only thing I heard about was it was actually anonymous.
Ah,
That's about it.
yeah.
So when are those consoles coming out? November. I know for sure this year. Did they say November?
They it's probably just before the holiday season, but I don't know who would buy it. Who would buy a Wii U?
Which is a crazy.
That's the craziest
No one.
idea. The Wii U, it was such a ill-fated idea. Like, what is Nintendo thinking? The problem I have with Nintendo is that it's such a character-driven franchise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have a whole fighting game where it's characters, like your favorite characters battling, right? That's their whole draw. But since the early 2000s, I think the last game that they released an actual original character was Pikmin.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then what was that? 2002? It's been like 11 years since Nintendo has actually released an actual new character.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have a character-driven franchise, at least release one. You have a whole generation of Wii games, right? But you don't release them at all. You just release like Mario playing tennis, Mario golfing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, people will buy it, but at what point do people say enough's enough? Yeah, we played Mario Kart on every single console 5 times.
I don't know what it is. I think Nintendo is it just that they're releasing consoles in between the Xbox and the PS4, they know they can't compete.
Yeah.
So they have to like in between, like get them in between each console release. So that's why they released like the Wii U a year ago, and the 3DS a few years ago. Like, because they know
why?
they can't
Compete? They can't.
They can't compete. Sony and Microsoft are too big for them.
Yeah.
At this point, not just that, it is so fucking sad to hear about the creators for Final Fantasy, like Square Enix and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, because like Square Enix makes like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, right? But man, so many workers got laid off. Like
Square Enix?
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially for Final Fantasy, like that division, so many workers got off because of some blunder, and like all the content they're releasing is just so shit. Like, you know how Final Fantasy X had like a sequel called 10-2?
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It's a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
But for 13, they are milking the shit out of it. They have 13, 13-2, and 13-3 Lightning Returns. And it is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. And man, and if you look at the latest Final Fantasy game, it's like 8-bit sprites. And it's just like, what are you doing?
What I also find stupid about Nintendo is that there's no support for third-party consoles. It's almost as if like third-party.
I never noticed that.
There's like name like a game by the Wii that like had like an other developer than Nintendo, right? That sold well. I mean, like what was there? Like No More Heroes was made by what was that? Was that Ninja Studio by the same guys who made Ninja Gaiden?
No. It's the same guy who made Killer 7. I don't know what his name is.
I know, but the point is that it's almost as if Nintendo feels that they're competing with like other gaming industries that are trying to sell good games on their Nintendo consoles, right?
Yeah.
They want to sell good games too, but it's almost as if they're competing with themselves.
You know, I really think Nintendo's gonna die out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'd give them 5 more years.
5 more years?
And they'll be gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
Yeah.
And they'll be just like a remnant, which is so sad because they pretty much started everything.
I wouldn't say they started everything, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, well,
they not single-handedly, but yeah, they brought it to the mainstream for sure.
Yeah. So sad.
I don't know about to me it just pisses me off that they would take this direction. I mean, they deserve it. It's not sad for me. It's just like, well, come on guys, you showed no support for the people that were trying to sell games for you. You showed no support for like people like Square Enix that want to put out like a Kingdom Hearts game, but there's no support from Nintendo.
I just realized
Sony had the same problem when they first released the PS3. There were no third party games, right? But they were releasing like that Lair game with like dragons. Do you remember that game? And they had to use like the 6 axes, and like none of the third parties knew how to use the 6 axes. So they were just like tilting the controller to fly a dragon.
I don't remember that. That's so funny though. But I just realized that like I forgot. Fuck, I forgot it. It always fucking happens. That's something to do with Nintendo and some bullshit thing they did. Something to do with Sony as well. I don't know, but oh yeah, like what was the charm point for like the Wii U? I'm thinking about it, and they're like, oh yeah, you can like put it on the tablet and you can go anywhere you want. Isn't that the 3DS?
Yeah.
And you know that, and I realized that's why the graphics suck, because it has to equal the tablet.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a lapse in judgment.
I was playing a demo. It doesn't even look as good as a 360 game.
No.
It's strange.
They all say it's as good as current gen consoles.
It's not.
No.
It's not. It's strange.
It is. I don't understand why. There's nothing.
Have you played the Wii U yet?
No.
No.
Oh well, I did at Derek's house, but we
Okay.
just played like, we didn't even play specific games, like third-party games or whatever. I just played like Mario games and like what's it called, theme park? Wii U
Mario
theme park?
World or something?
No, Wii U theme park, like it's included in the thing.
It's like a demo game.
Yeah, and you have like all these other games you can play, like Metroid, Link, and like 5 other games.
Oh,
I
nice.
tried that. It was fun to see what you could do with it, but man, it's not that great. It's not that great by yourself. I guess it's just a party food.
And at what point are third-party developers gonna stop releasing games for the Nintendo Wii?
3 years.
Because it's like they're not gonna release like Grand Theft Auto for it. They're not gonna release that.
I know.
They're not gonna release like any more Assassin's Creed games. Probably gonna stop They might release some sports games, maybe Call of Duty.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they ported a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, sure. Like
If the servers support them at all.
I don't know what the. Yeah, Nintendo's just falling behind. Like the PlayStation has the right. PlayStation is the benchmark. Would you say that? Would you say the Xbox or the Microsoft or the PlayStation is the benchmark of
how to
like
run a
current
company,
gens?
how to run a gaming company.
Well, just a benchmark, like a bar line, like a standard.
I would say it's ridiculous to compare like a Sony and a Microsoft because they're really the same thing. It's probably what they do is they buy the same parts that they buy. They'll buy it maybe from Samsung. They'll buy like memory cards, or they'll buy like RAM for their consoles. They'll buy it all from like the same place, and it's really the same thing. It's just different packaging, different boxes. So it's really gonna be the same thing, more or less.
Yeah.
It's like a car. Like they always release like, oh, there's like a Mazda sedan and the Honda sedan, but both of them are buying the same parts. They just have like a different shape. You know what I mean? They all have the same engine parts.
Yeah, I guess so.
We have this music in the background. How'd you like the music in Great Gatsby?
I didn't.
You didn't like it?
I didn't pay attention to it.
You didn't pay attention to it. Eh?
The only one song I paid attention to was when Gatsby was reminiscing over like his past, and there's like a slow piano piece, and I was like, oh, that's nice. That was the only time. That's the only time.
Was that the Lana Del Rey song when she's like, when they're throwing the clothes? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not that. Oh no, not that part. No.
No.
Like he was going over his past.
Oh.
And there's a slow piano piece, like pure piano.
Yeah, like stuff like that, it would have worked. But they added like, and I'm gonna sound like a hipster when I say this, right? They added way too much like mainstream music, like pop music, that just didn't fit. And I'm not saying add classical music because it would have made it boring, but add music that would fit. It almost seemed like they were targeting a demographic that just read The Great Gatsby. Like they were targeting the grade 11 class that just read it and were like, oh kids, we're gonna go on a field trip to see The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
You just read that book, right? And everybody's like, yeah.
You know what's really funny? If you go on Wikipedia, almost every 20 or so years, almost every 15 years, there's another Great Gatsby film.
Oh,
so
yeah?
there's 4 more before this one.
Oh, I
Which
didn't know
is
that.
really fucking dumb.
Yeah, I didn't know
So
that.
funny.
Did you read the book? I didn't read the book.
I only read the synopsis.
And for some reason, the synopsis didn't have Great Gatsby dying at the end, right?
Yeah, it didn't say anything about him getting shot. Literally, the last 2 lines are, after Nick stays at his funeral.
Wait, we just spoiled the ending of the movie, but
Oh,
fuck it. It's a classical book. You guys fucking read it.
Wait, at his funeral? No, after. No, it's. Oh no, the second last line was Gatsby said he'll take the blame for her, and then the last line is Nick says he had enough and he went back to Kentucky or wherever he was supposed to go back.
Oh.
This is really funny. But yeah, I don't remember him like getting shot.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Did you like Spider-Man as like Nick? Did you like him as that character? Because I find him to be like.
Oh, did I like Tobey Maguire as
Tobey
Nick?
Maguire. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, was he the best role? Probably not. But his role was okay because you know why? Tobey Maguire is a quiet character. That's just how he looks. And it's perfect for him because even when I read the synopsis, they make it as he's just there. He doesn't do shit, which is true.
Yeah. But
and so,
So
Tobey Maguire, just him being there, just looking at his face, because he's the most plain guy at a party you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
And it just fits. Well, not fits, it just works.
But should we really have the quiet guy narrate the entire movie?
No, I didn't know it was narration.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. I thought it would be like he tells you what's going. Like he's not reminiscing over past events. This is current. What you're seeing is what's happening now.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
It almost felt like, you know, when you like see like a quiet guy trying to sing karaoke, and like it's like, oh, what is he talking about? Oh, he's trying to sing the song, right? No, it's like that awkward, like, okay, yeah, sure, narrate it, but at the same time, why are you playing the quiet guy, and why you, it's contradictory to people.
I guess that just
guy.
I guess that just means it just makes him observant.
I know, but the way I would have done it is have the audience be the observer and have them experience as if they're Nick. How Nick would observe it, not narrate it. Observe it. Because
that's what I honestly thought it was. He's just there, and you don't hear anything from him except for, yeah, okay, sure, why not? Like that's it. I didn't know it was a narration. I don't know if in the book it's an actual narration.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like currently what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that might have been better if the movie was like that, at least, because for him to narrate something like this, it's all right, but it gives a better sense of how would I say this?
Interaction with the audience. Well, like the audience can interact better.
Interaction, but not as and like a better build-up maybe.
Yeah, because at the same time you build it up in your head, right?
Yeah.
Rather than Tobey Maguire saying, okay, and then he did this. It's almost like puts you in a wall where like it puts a wall ahead saying like, you're not here anymore. You're not with The Great Gatsby. I'm with The Great Gatsby. Let me tell you what The Great Gatsby did.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost saying that like, you're not watching the movie really. I'm telling you what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess we're doing right now. So this is like 4 walls, and then you get to see The Great Gatsby.
Although I will say one of the good parts was, well, as I expected.
Which is probably why the opening scene is like a wall. Like, you know how the opening scene is like an in-depth wall?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because they wanted to put a wall of narration.
Interesting.
That's
a horrible decision.
Yeah, that's a horrible decision.
I don't know. The crazy part is, I think one part they could have upped it a bit more was the scaling of the parties, and like
bigger?
how rich these guys were.
Bigger, you wanted?
No, it was big enough already, right? But I could have seen like I didn't want the place to be bigger, but I wanted a sense of
dynamic.
Yeah, more of a
Cause
that or like more dynamic. No, not dynamic. Like a bigger sense of scaling, because all they say is, oh, like, yeah, she's an actress. Oh yeah, he's part of like the police department. Oh yeah, this guy's like a commentator. Like that's it. There's nobody else. They don't show real impact. They don't show. It would have been really interesting to see people have their own corner in the party.
Oh, and have their own interactions.
Have their own interactions. Like it's like that guy. He came with these group of like 20 people, and they have their own section over there. It was as if everyone was just friends with each other, which in reality probably doesn't work out that way. But this was the 1920s. I don't know how parties worked back then, but it's cool.
I don't know if you mean like group them, like say like, oh, these guys were like a gang or something.
Yeah, but they shouldn't explicitly. But they shouldn't explicitly say like they weren't. It was as if they just enjoyed the party with their own group of friends.
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting just to see with your own eyes that, oh yeah, they're just off by themselves, which makes it feel, realistic. Yeah. And they're not invited. Keep that in mind. So it would make more sense to see more loners or just people that don't interact with anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just me. But the scale of the party was cool. You see, like all the flamingo girls and is that what they're called? All the dancer girls and like. There was a guy that had like an orchestra stick, like he was the conductor, but there was no fucking band anywhere.
Yeah. The Beethoven guy, right? Is he like?
No, like the actual conductor with his wand, and it's like, why the fuck is he there? Yeah. But yeah, and then Beethoven's supposed descendant. It was really funny. Yeah. What was one thing you did like about the movie?
Well, the ending.
Because I read the synopsis, I pretty much knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Except for him getting shot, though. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. The movie just really escalates when when they first meet Great Gatsby, which I guess you're supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to feel like this is the movie now. But
yeah.
it's
It's just to pick it up like the man, the myth, the
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah.
And you like no one's ever seen him, and you're the only like you feel special because you're the only one that got an invitation, and he was the only one that talked to you. But it doesn't make any sense. Why is it that he only talked to Tobey Maguire and nobody else? To get in contact with Daisy besides that girl.
Didn't they explain like it's because he was working with Wall Street and it was because of some money laundering, something like that? I think that's why. Remember?
I don't think so.
Tom said something about like, oh, you talked to Nick because he like remember at the end when he was explaining that he's like money laundering and he's
and luckily he didn't get Nick involved.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that was the part. I think that's one of the weird things. Like, why did Gatsby know that he was like related or he knew Daisy?
Oh yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense. Even if he did give him like the job with all the money laundering stuff, that doesn't explain like how he knew that Tobey Maguire knew Daisy. Like it is really weird.
I mean, I guess that's the point of like he's a guy of mystery, right? They want to build this identity that like he's mysterious yet he knows everything, kind of like the Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he watches over, and like he has ears everywhere. That's what I think they wanted to get at.
As it is everywhere, yeah. I think man, what would be the craziest part of that movie?
The driving scenes are actually pretty good. Obviously when the lady gets hit, that's really just the climax of the entire movie when the lady gets hit.
And that was probably the craziest part, yeah.
I think the only part where I really openly smiled was when Gatsby finally shows his face. Everything else is just like,
yeah.
It's okay. But I don't know. Did you really get a sense of Gatsby as a gentleman? I felt he was more elusive rather than a gentleman.
What do you mean elusive?
Like sneaky.
Sleazy?
Like sleazy. Like, not sleazy. Tom, the guy that played Tom, he was a really sleazy character. You could see it in the actor's like face and movements and stuff, so it was relatively spot on, right? But for Gatsby, he's supposed to be as the gentleman, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's a liar.
And a liar too.
Yeah.
I barely saw any gentleman in this guy. He was a smooth talker, if anything, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what.
Well, maybe that's actually his character. I don't know.
Yeah.
But his cover up is supposed to be a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I like that movie. This is good. High rate.
So you recently went on a diet, right?
Yeah. Fucking.
Explain this diet.
His diet. Okay, what's it called? It's called the keto diet, or I think another name is called the caveman diet because of all what you eat, and it's supposed to be like. Is that something else?
That's the what's it called? Paleo diet.
Paleo diet. Oh, okay.
Paleo diet.
Yeah, like pretty much the diet is if you're looking to lose like body fat, like strictly body fat. Like I'll get into like the tricks and stuff later that I got tricked into, but pretty much it's telling you like this is how you lose like body fat percentage and mostly just body fat. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut out all your carbs, like rice, spaghetti, cut out all the sugar, not even fruits. You're not even allowed to have an apple.
What does that have? Fructose in it?
Like fructose, glucose. There's like the sugars. So all you eat is just protein and fat. And fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, and you need fiber pretty much.
And for fats, you mean like nuts, like almonds?
I mean like real fat, like a shitload of cheese, a shitload of butter.
Yeah. And
like fat on steaks, like a lot of oils, coconut oils. They say coconut oil is like one of the best things to use besides olive oil. Literally you douse everything in oil and butter.
Yeah.
You're pretty much good to go. You can have bacon. You can have as much bacon as you want. But the calculation for this is figure out how much of your body is lean body mass and take 1 gram of protein per lean body mass. And then you have that many grams and then it'll tell you how many calories of protein that'll be. And you want the same amount of fat to equal like your calories of protein, right? So then from that, it would there's a calculator that does this all for you.
So it's 50% fat, 50% protein.
That's how it should be, but in reality, it's more like 60 fat, 30 protein, and like 10 vegetables.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And man, it did work for me for like a month. I maybe lost like 5 to 10 pounds or something. But man, it's not good if you do like sports or unless you do different types of keto, like a strict keto diet is just the fat and the protein, right? And that's pure body loss. Pure body loss. It's pure fat loss, but you run the risk of losing muscle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fuck that. And then there's another one where you have once every week you would just eat a shitload of carbohydrates. That was the cyclical one. And then there was one where you have a small amount of carbs before and after your workout. And each one has its own special modification. So if you do the carbohydrates once a week, that's like you still lose fat and you maintain your muscle. But the post and pre-workout one, you lose no fat, but you don't gain fat either.
Oh, okay.
And you can gain muscle that way.
Yeah. I mean, like, personally, I don't believe in dieting. Like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, you have to eat clean, right? But I think, like, you would have to have a meal that provides optimum nutrition, because if you're going to be deprivating yourself of any nutrients, it's going to come back and hurt your health, right? No matter what. Because your body needs carbs, right? Your body needs fats, your body needs proteins. If you take near zero or you don't take enough, your body's going to strike back. Yes, you're going to lose fat, but the only reason it's doing that is because it can't maintain that nutrient loss. So you're really just, your body's reacting negatively. Even though you're losing weight, you're also becoming weaker. And then once you get off that diet, you're just going to add those pounds are just going to go right back on. Yeah. We should get Wojtek on to talk about this one.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just popped into my head, but I remember, you ever see those videos from North Korea where they actually had like missile pods patrolling the streets?
Missile pods? Oh,
like on trucks they had loaded missiles, like not like a missile, but like a loaded missile in a
North Korea.
North Korea.
Yeah.
And they released this video for like YouTube and stuff like that, which is really weird.
Whatever happened to like that nuclear threat from North Korea? Did they just stop talking?
I don't know what they're doing. No one pays attention anymore. But it was funny because there was an allegation where the missile pods you see are actually fake and they're actually like inflatable.
Oh yeah.
Which is really fucking dumb.
So
after hearing about this, no one's gonna take them seriously.
Yeah, because
no one did in the first place.
It's weird. They just basically put almost all of their money into the army and military, but like almost no money to feed their people. It's crazy how that works.
I remember I saw this video. There was this guy during the Vietnam War when he was captured, right?
Mm-hmm.
He the video the Vietnamese were recording, like, are you being treated well and stuff like that, and he would say yes, but in reality they were torturing him.
Yeah.
And so to send a message, he blinked in Morse code to spell out torture.
Yeah.
And this video was released to the Americans, and they're like, we gotta like save these guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know any Morse code. Shit.
Yeah,
Is that still an important skill? I would assume so.
Yeah. Well, it saves your life.
You know what's super crazy? I remember what code was this? Oh, you remember the Zodiac killer? How he left a message of like jumbled up letters?
Yeah.
And the person that actually figured out his message was like a high school student.
Yeah.
And after he deciphered it, he's the only person. He didn't publicly release how he deciphered it, so he's the only person in the world that knows how to decipher this message.
Holy crap.
He hasn't even released it, which is like a dickish thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the crazy part is, it's not even the whole letter is like.
What exactly is the Zodiac Killer for people that don't know?
He's a serial killer hasn't been caught for over maybe 30 years, and
Is he caught? He's caught, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's still loose, and pretty much he's a serial murderer. He's killed at least 10 or so people, maybe even more, and no one knows who he is. I think his murders were relatively in a small area, but they have no idea who this guy is. They only have like a really sketchy drawing of him, and it's really shitty at best.
Yeah.
And they still haven't caught this guy. He's the modern day age of Jack the Ripper, essentially.
Oh, man. He's been on the loose for 30 years?
More, maybe.
But he hasn't committed anything really now.
Now, no.
You know what? That high school kid's probably him.
That's a good kid.
The kid that solved the puzzle.
Oh, that would be crazy.
It would probably be that kid.
Oh no, not a high school kid, like a high school teacher.
Oh, high school teachers.
But that would be crazy if that were true.
Yeah.
That'd be the perfect crime.
Would be.
Actually, no, that would be the worst crime. That would raise too much suspicion. Wouldn't it?
I don't know. Or he'll tell somebody, oh yeah, I figured it out, and then he'll just blame somebody else.
You know, oh man, do you have any funny stories of when, like, it was clearly a bullshit lie someone pinned on someone else, but somehow somebody else believed it? Do you have any stories like that?
No, do you?
I'm trying to think. I swear I had something like this. Like, it was such a blatant lie, everyone knew, but the person was too oblivious to think better.
Know
better.
Well, my boss, whatever, he's not gonna listen to this, but my boss, what he would, like, almost like every day, he'll just like blatantly be like, because he doesn't really give a shit about stuff, so just say like, oh hey, how's it going? How's school, right? He'll say like, how's school, right? Like every time I see him, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, and then when I wanted days off for exams, right, I would tell him like, okay, I need Saturday off, right, and he'll be like, oh, I didn't know you were a student. Or like if I need like Friday off, like, oh, I didn't know you were a student. I didn't know you had exams. That was like the first, like, as soon as I asked him, his first instance was to lie. It's weird when people just like they've developed, they're such liars that instead of saying something, they'll just spurt out the first lie that comes to their head that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know. Do you still find it hard? Do you find it hard now to lie still, or is it easier for you now?
Lately I've been like, I never lie to myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll lie. Yeah, I guess I'll lie. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, do you find it harder to lie to people, or do you find it easier to lie to people now?
Harder, because you have
harder.
I guess you develop more of a conscience when you grow older, because you realize like, okay, well, if I lie to him, I'm gonna be like, you're involved in more serious interactions as an adult, right? If you lie to somebody about like a group project that you're doing like for finals, and you lie to them saying like, oh, I was working all night, and then you lie to them, oh, I got nothing, then you just fucked over a bunch of people. But if you lie to your parents about like when you were eating ice cream and you weren't supposed to, and you say, no, I wasn't, it's not gonna you're not gonna affect that many people.
Yeah. I find it I was never a good liar in the first place, but man, it is still pretty hard for me to lie.
Yeah.
Well, to lie and convince people, because lying is like half of it. You need to convince them that it's right. Which is still fucking hard to do. I think nowadays, now compared to maybe 20 years ago, everyone's a fucking skeptic. No one will believe you. Like, and it's like that joke, pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like there always has to be some proof.
Going back to lying, it's funny how we never really make a big deal about our politicians lying to us almost like every single day, but when somebody like does a drug, or like they'll say like they'll say like shit or like they'll swear,
Yeah.
then we're like, this guy's the worst politician ever.
Yeah.
But if the other guy was lying to us for 3 years straight, and we're like, yeah, let's vote for him. He made us chant USA, USA.
Yeah, no, it's so backwards. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just a pageant. It's just like, oh, he's more articulate. Like, but he's
more
articulate. He's more articulate with his lies. so we should vote for him.
He's
a better liar.
I forgot what it's called. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but I don't remember the term, so I flopped on that one.
It's weird. We live in a society where it matters more how you say it than if it's true
What's
or not.
being said.
Yeah, than what's being said.
Yeah. When you were growing up, how did you learn to like swear and stuff?
To swear.
And how did you like incorporate swearing?
I guess it's just like you said. Like
As a kid, when I heard it, I was like, and then my parents were like, yeah, just don't use it.
Yeah.
Only use it later. And I was like, sure.
yeah.
And then it wasn't a big deal. I think kids nowadays should learn it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Only use it till later when it's appropriate.
It's weird how in elementary school we learn the power of words. Like we learn that we learn about like context, right? We learn like how to use premises in our teachings, right? But at the same time, we're never allowed to say shit. No matter the context.
Yeah.
And it's important. It's a word, right? We're not gonna be scared of a word. It's ridiculous to be scared of a word. It's not gonna affect anybody if we're scared of a word. But at the same time, if you're calling somebody you're a piece of shit, that's a lot worse than saying like, yo dog, you're the shit. Right? There's a context there.
Yeah.
There's a context there that we're ignoring. Even the N-word.
Oh, I just destroyed the audio.
Even the N-word, right?
Yeah.
You can't say, you get out here, you N-word, or I'll kill you. That is a different context than, yo, what's up, mate? You know what I mean?
You know what? You remember that teacher that got suspended because he called a black kid
The N-word? Oh, yeah.
But in his defense, he heard the other black kids calling him that, so he thought like he was trying to fit in. So
yeah.
So the teacher, when they interviewed him, he was like, I was saying like, hey, sit down, nigga. I was like, yo, sit down. Like,
yeah.
He tried to emphasize it, and I was like, I don't know if that's true or not, but how he says it is like, yeah,
it's the context.
That's how it works.
It's the context.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to explain the context of like saying it like as a friend, like or not. I know, it's weird.
Yeah. How did we get into this topic? Fuck.
I don't know.
What were we talking about before?
Lying.
Lying? What were we talking about before lying? We should do this at the end of every podcast. Try and link all our ideas together. Now that would be a great thing.
And then it branches off to like we were talking about like prostate exams.
Yeah.
It branched all the way here.
Yeah. Do you frequent? Yeah, I don't know why, but this has been a recent obsession for me lately. I find it so much fun to find people starting their blogs on whatever, and then I just like start through the last 20 posts they made, 0 comments and hardly any views. So when I see it, I try to like comment on that shit, and I don't know why that's been a recent obsession. So I'd be like, maybe if this gets popular, like
I'll be the one.
I'll be a moderator.
I'll be the moderator.
I'll be the moderator.
One day I'll be the moderator.
I don't know why, but yeah, I've been
controller.
I've been frequenting like a lot of blogs and just like
we have a blog,
comments.
you know.
Oh yeah, you told me about it. Oh yeah, send me the link later.
It's topicspage.com. I'll advertise it at the end of the podcast rather than the beginning.
And
so like that.
I always want to just like comment on it. And usually when you comment on like 0 comment blogs, the guy will respond within a day.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I feel special. But yeah, I've been doing this for like 2 or 3
Where do
blogs.
you check out blogs? What websites?
One's like an anime blog, and the other's like a general gaming blog.
Oh, and do you go on like blog? What's it called? Blog host, like hosting websites, like what's it called?
Oh,
I don't even
well,
know.
I guess I shouldn't say blogs, but they're actual websites.
Oh, okay.
Actual website domains, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just go on them. I just comment the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
They'd be like, even if it's just 10 words, yeah, okay. Go through all of them. I've been doing that recently. I don't know why.
Yeah, Wojtek actually created the topics page. It's like a website, and what his concept was is that I probably need him to explain it, right? Because I'm like butchering it here.
Wait.
But
this is a blog he made, or this is the domain he has?
What it is it's a blog creating website where you can make an account and you can create your own blog, right? And what it does is it allows people to expand, like, allows them to better search through blogs, and allows them to not just be stuck on a single topic. But, like, let's say you want to have a blog about cars, right? But at the same time, you also like soccer. So maybe you want to post a few stuff about soccer. Maybe you want to post a few stuff about stand-up comedy or whatnot, right? Then you can search those ideas and find posts from blogs that you enjoy. So like if you're prominently talking about cars, right? But you have like like your favorite soccer team that you're talking about, people can search up that soccer team and see your post about that particular soccer team without actually being into your blog about cars. And then, yeah, so that it's really just more, and what we talked about was branching it off into like university territory or high school territory, where people can post their class notes, and people can post like, oh, like this is class, like week 1, class 2 or whatnot, and they'll post their lecture notes. And it's a lot easier than something like Facebook, where you have to be a friend with that person and you have to make sure that like he shared the document and whatnot. You can actually just post your notes and like everybody who's in that class can see it. And the real selling point of this website is that, like YouTube, once you get enough viewership, once you get popular enough and you put out good content, you're going to be able to put ads on your blog, and you can generate money from that blog. Because a lot of blogs right now, you really don't get paid, right? But he's trying to change that. And yeah.
I don't think blogs will ever get paid. It's only like the actual domain.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to change, exactly. That he's trying for people to put out good content, like a YouTube channel, and they'll get paid for that good content. They'll get rewarded. They'll get rewarded for their content. It could be anything. It could be like you could post a video, you could post artwork, right? It's like anything. If Mega 64, right? They get paid from YouTube, I assume. Do they?
I don't know actually.
Well, let's say Epic Mealtime, because they have a partnership, right? If you have a partnership with YouTube, you get paid for putting out good content. You know, like however many Kit Kat videos you can make, Kit Kat wrapped in bacon or whatnot, right? If you're getting paid for that, you're getting paid for that. And then, yeah, that's what he's trying to change.
I think it's I don't know about that. I think it just still makes more sense if you want something like that to happen, you just pay for a domain. Because literally, if you use it's like what, $2 for a domain for a whole year.
Yeah.
If you put in $2 because if you use a blogging system on some guy's site, it's so small, so vague that it barely pops up because your results are not even there. They're covered by everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a domain, that's 100 times better. You'll pop up even more.
Yeah.
Rather than a regular blog.
Well, what's probably gonna happen is probably gonna start selling domains, like
domain names.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? This is a really entrepreneur technique, but I don't think it applies anymore since most of them are taken. We should just register random domain names.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Did you?
There's so many people that do that they make so much money when they sell them when the company gets big.
Yeah. You ever see that? You know Brian Redband from Joe Rogan Experience? He's basically like the computer operator, right? And before, I think maybe like early 2000s, they released. Do you remember Pepsi Spice? It was like a flavor of Pepsi, right?
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, but they didn't register the domain name as Pepsi Spice, right?
Uh-huh.
So he made a website called Pepsi Spice,
where he would post like fake testimonials about the drink. It'll be like, oh, I grew like 5 limbs or something after drinking this, and then he made like a video of like him giving himself a blowjob. And like not like literally, but like it was like edited, obviously, right?
Okay.
Like not like a Curtis move or whatnot,
Okay,
you know.
okay.
But like, and then like you make like commercials like that for Pepsi Spice, and he'd be like, Pepsi Spice, come watch Brian fuck himself, shit like that, and then like he would get like emails from like Pepsi company to take down his website, and he'd be like, no, I'm not taking it down.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think we should start doing that. We should register just random domain names.
I guess so. Well, like, will it cost us money? It will.
It will.
Yeah.
I think at most $2 a year, or as little as $2 a year.
Yeah. But we should register like something, like those Apple things. Probably Apple has like a registered.
No, I don't think we should do that because there's no such thing as iPod.com because that redirects to Apple.com.
Yeah. Or if you just copyright something, and you're probably gonna have to pay to use that trademark.
Yeah. So fuck that. Fuck man. You know what else is really funny? Are there I really want to see a statistic about how many websites there are now.
Right now?
On the internet. How many would you say there are?
Trillions?
Trillions?
Because, well, website pages? Because there's probably infinite website pages.
Oh no, I mean like an actual domain name.
Oh.
Excluding everything in the domain. I'd say a good billion or so.
Yeah, 30 billion?
Yeah.
Is that a good estimate?
30?
30 billion?
No, I'd stick with a billion or more.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because what's the likelihood of one guy producing? Because if you say 30 billion, what's the likelihood of one person making another domain name?
Well, not just persons, websites. I mean, like
like
businesses. And there's probably generators too, and probably there's multiple business websites because there's like for example like something like Apple, right? It probably has the Apple website, but it also has like each regional branch has their own website, and those branches have like country websites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of websites.
Yeah.
I remember you remember that statistic like at least half the internet is porn?
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. And like the amount of porn uploaded onto the web is so many fucking terabytes, like it's unbelievable.
Holy crap.
Crazy. People love their porn.
Yeah.
Jesus. How long have we been doing this?
Not long enough.
Well, make sure you cut out this section when we're talking about it.
Yeah. We got 0 views.
Man, my arms.
Okay. I got a good tan. I hate when your skin gets really pinkish. Does your skin get pinkish, or is that just
Pink?
me? Like when you get like a tan and it just becomes like kind of pinkish.
No.
That's just white.
You ever got sunburned before?
Yeah. Have you?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I got sunburn on my.
Because I see all those videos about people's skin peeling and like feeling like numb as soon as someone brushes against you. So I take care not to like get fucked up.
Yeah. Do you stay out in the sun a lot or no?
If I do, I have to put on sunscreen.
Yeah. I guess.
And I can't. I don't really want to afford like.
When I think maybe if I was younger, maybe like 14, I got like sunburn right on my like both shoulders, and like it was like peeling and shit, and then I had to put like aloe every night. It's gross.
You know what's really gross? I remember I was trying to walk on the treadmill for like an hour, and I didn't have any shoes on, and I was going barefoot, and that was a big mistake. Because after half an hour, I couldn't walk anymore because my feet hurt so much. So there were blisters all over the place, and so I had to like pop them.
Yeah.
And like that
water came out.
A lot of water came out.
Yeah.
And then the next few days it was fucking painful to walk.
Yeah.
But then recently, for some reason, the skin started to peel. So I had to peel like almost a palm's worth of skin. Like I could peel a palm's worth of skin, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch that.
Oh shit! Yeah, the same thing happened. You remember at the Ultimate Frisbee tryouts? When I was wearing Converse, right? Never wear Converse for any type of sport, because like.
Oh, was it like
I would keep on
this
running.
top side here, like?
Yeah, it would. It doesn't offer enough support on the bottom, right? So basically, when you're running, it feels like you're running on the gym floor, and whenever you would stop, right, it would like you would skid, right, and like it would just drag the foot, and I got like 2 blisters right on the balls of my feet, and then I had to pop them, and just like water came out. It's gross.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
It's kind of weird how just water just builds up on there.
Heat.
We're gonna go high quality now. Makes no difference.
I think it set us in low quality because our
suck.
internet connection's not fast enough.
They're slow.
So, yeah.
We should have a pool. Stripper pole.
I still you ever see those? These are funny ass videos when you see women try to like pole dance.
Oh, and they like
they're super fat.
Yeah.
And they just like break the pole and like
Yeah.
destroy themselves.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
And then for some reason that pole was like holding up the entire structure of their house, and it just like encloses in them.
Yeah. Like that guy that fell in the sinkhole, man, I feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah.
He went into the depths of hell.
Quite. Yeah.
Nowhere to be found again.
Holy crap.
You know what's an even scarier thought?
Man.
What if
is the government's idea? Because the government probably put the sinkhole there, so the government
they
must
put a sinkhole there? What?
It's just like, what happened? They're in charge of the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be
At
aware that
point,
like?
I don't know what caused that landslide, but I know that
they should be aware that like that shit can happen to people's houses.
I think they just it was
They're responsible for that.
It is, but it wasn't the infrastructure. It wasn't like the plumbing or anything. Like it's just that the soil around just started to like really disappear, maybe. But infrastructure is a big problem because there's this one really big sinkhole. I don't know where it is, but it takes up like a whole intersection and like part of a building. And the reason why it collapsed is because the sewage system and piping underneath like the intersection and some buildings
it out, right?
was just really shitty.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing's fucking gone. I don't know where it is, but if you ever see that image, it's fucking terrifying.
Jesus Christ. Apparently New Orleans has really bad infrastructure. Like that's why, because I remember my anthropology teacher telling me that when she visited New Orleans, there would just be like random holes in the ground, like on the sidewalk. There'd just be like a hole.
A really big hole?
Like a hole, just like a sewage hole, but like,
holy shit.
You know how like they have like grades over the sewage holes? They'd just be like a fucking hole in the sidewalk.
Damn.
Yeah, and they'd have to walk around it. Yeah.
Dude, how terrifying would it be if that guy that fell in the sinkhole, if he's still falling to this day? How scary would that be?
That would be scary. Well, when did he fall? Like a few months ago?
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen, I don't think. Yeah, that'd be scary if you just constantly falling.
It's like that guy that
die from starvation, but his body would still be falling.
It's like that guy that fell. What was that? Bumgard.
Bum.
That's his name. Felix Bumgard or whatever. Like it took him how long? Like a good 5 or so minutes to reach the ground.
Oh, the guy that
more than 5
jumped
minutes.
From the 11 minutes it took him.
11 minutes?
Jumped from like the edge of space, right?
Yeah. Even falling from like
the edge of time.
Even jumping from like a high cliff takes no more than like 3 seconds. Fucking 11 minutes.
He should have went around the Earth. Like Superman. It just turned back
reverse time. I can't wait
time.
to see that in the new Superman movie.
Yeah. Why would they add that? It makes no sense.
They're fucking idiots. The director's side would be like, he can control space and time. No, he can't.
No, he can't.
Fuck off.
Like how? Like it doesn't make sense. If you change the
the
revolution.
It does it. It's like trying to make the sun spin backwards.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
except fuck up the solar system.
Yeah. It would fuck everything up.
They should have made an alternate ending where it turns out he actually destroyed all of humanity.
Yeah. And like caused giant tsunamis to occur.
What a fucking Superman's such an idiot. I'm glad that isn't the. Is that the real Superman? Apparently, the original Superman, he couldn't fly. That's true.
What? I didn't know that.
Like in the very first comics, apparently he wasn't supposed to have any of the powers he has now. Oh. He could run fast. He could jump like a whole building and stuff like that, but he couldn't fly. He didn't have frost breath.
So he was Sonic.
Yeah, he was Sonic.
He was Sonic.
He was Sonic and the Flash.
Yeah.
No.
Sonic and the Flash.
Sonic and the Flash, just super fast.
It's like Sonic and Flash and the kid from, what's it called, The Incredibles, all had a baby.
Oh, Dash.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
All had a baby.
Who's faster, the Flash or Sonic?
I don't know. There's probably like a versus.
Flash is as fast as light.
Yeah.
So
I'm as flash as light.
Flash is light.
I'm as flash as light.
That's pretty cool.
I guess Nintendo's gonna become like Sega. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, it's just a new shitty Mario game.
Yeah.
I'm amazed people aren't tired of that.
Yeah, like, why are people standing by Nintendo? Strange.
We should go up to them. We should go up to Capcom and tell them to make an Urban Reign.
Yeah. We need to do that.
Yeah, we should.
Everybody that's watching this, which is like nobody. Yeah.
What games do you think should
Urban
get
Reign
a
was a
sequel?
crazy game.
What games do you think should get a sequel?
Urban Reign, I don't know, I'm sure it's some Reddit. There's some Reddit forum that's talking about this right now.
Yeah. Did you know this? I don't know if you told this, but Reddit has such a fucking long history of inside jokes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know the one about the safe?
Yeah.
Did you know about the one that he had sex with this guy had sex with his mom?
No, what is?
So pretty much whenever you see someone reply with and it did his arms break and someone goes fucking all the time, the inside story was there's an AMA about this guy who said he had sex with his mom, and apparently what happened was he broke his arms, and he would always yell at his parents and get angry easily, and his dad was like, oh, I know why, because he couldn't masturbate, and so the mom would help him out with it, so she would like jack him off with her hand. And then it escalated to oral, and then it escalated to full-blown sex. And this went on for...
What the fuck?
This went on for a good 5 to 10 years, I think. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my god. What did the father do?
Nothing. He approved.
Oh my god.
It was his idea that the mom help him.
Oh my god. Why not the guy?
I don't know.
Why not the dad?
I don't know.
Good for nothing, dad.
Because that's too inappropriate, right?
He's probably fucking decorating the house with the blind girl right now.
Oh, shit.
Fucking...
That's fucked up. Did you know, I told you about that list I saw about, like...
How long was his arms broken?
Oh, no, like, his arms fixed in a year.
Just long enough to get a blowjob.
His arms were fixed in a year, but he kept doing... That shit kept happening for a good 10 years.
Oh my god.
I told you about that list I saw about, like, urban legends that were spawned by videos. Apparently there was this guy made a SpongeBob video where Squidward commits suicide with a shotgun in his mouth.
Wait, what?
This guy... There's an urban legend that's someone from Nickelodeon created a SpongeBob episode where Squidward has, like, suicidal tendencies, and a voice just is like, just do it. And he gets like a shotgun and he like puts it in his mouth and kills himself.
That seems fake.
And the only thing that survived from that video is a screenshot, and it's like Squidward with a 1,000-yard stare, and like it's called like Red Mist. The episode was called Red Mist, and there's like a red background and his eyes are red.
That just seems like a photoshopped picture.
It could be, but that's fucking creepy.
Did you see
I gotta show you that list later.
Did you ever see that when they released? It was like a legendary. It's like a. Apparently, people thought it was fake, but they released it 1 year at like a convention where it was like a lost Dexter's Laboratory episode where they would just like swear. They would just like straight up just swear the entire. Thing. Apparently, they released it. You can watch it on YouTube. They finally did. Oh, yeah, but I think it's censored. I'm not sure. And I watched it. It's not that bad. They say like shit and crap, like, but that's it. Bitch.
I could deal with those words.
Yeah, I'll show you it later.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There was shit. What's when was Reddit created actually?
I don't know. I started going on it like this year.
I think Reddit's created like 2006. I want to say 2006.
How did it get to such popularity? It's just the fact that you can share websites. It's inevitable that there's probably gonna be a website where you can share images.
I think it's the fact that it's a good forum.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not a 4chan where you have fucking assholes that are just anonymous and they just make jokes and like never take you seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why. It's just a good forum site that works where you can create your own subreddit, where subreddits are created and like people just join in, and it's free to make an account.
Yeah.
So that's good. I guess that's the reason. Oh yeah, did you know that one of the co-creators of like Reddit actually committed suicide like a few months ago?
Oh, that's too bad.
Sucks.
Did he have mental?
No, I don't know what happened to him. It's just like
Did he have a mental illness?
No, I don't think so. Speaking of mental illnesses, do you remember that Coney?
Yeah.
That Coney video?
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened to it? You know what I think it is? This is probably not right. I swear it's like not a publicity stunt, but it's like some guy tried to make a project, and Coney's not actually a real dude.
It's like, it just seems like the Holocaust, like those Holocaust numbers. I don't know.
Cause do you remember? Then
I've never met. I've never seen Coney.
I've never met Coney either.
I've never met Coney.
I don't know. This fucking came out of nowhere, and people started taking this shit seriously.
I think he's a robot.
Right? People started taking this shit seriously, and then like a few months later, there's a video of the guy that made the video, butt naked in the street, jacking off. Wait, was he jacking off? He was butt naked in the street dancing. You remember that?
Yeah, there must be a connection between that. What is this idea that like he protested this, but then he just went AWOL and just got naked?
I swear this has to be some kind of
I guess you
joke, hoax maybe.
I guess you kind of have to be mad to go against a complete dictator. You know what I mean? If this guy was
you're right. This seems more than your regular charity.
You would have to be mad to go against like an African dictator, like just through like some charity or whatnot. What did he ask? Did people just share the video?
Share the video and spread the word by graffitiing the fucking walls.
But
so that's why everywhere you went, you saw Coney 2012.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. I know you can share the word, but it's not really gonna help.
No, it did work because everyone's like, "What the fuck is Coney?" They Google it, the video pops up.
Yeah, it helps them get more views.
Done.
And
then they watch the video and then they're like, "I wonder if I can donate." I don't know if there was a donation link, but the amount of popularity it gained was a good example of like the internet.
Yeah, it was a good example.
And how people can get tricked so easily.
Yeah, I mean like, it can be used for good. It can be, right? I mean like,
of course.
That was the whole idea, that the internet can be used to share and help people, like Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, yeah.
But why do people hate it? Why did people hate the Coney idea? Was it just some?
The idea itself is fine.
Yeah.
I just really hated the people that like got on like the bandwagon and started saying this is really important shit, when in reality it was gone the next few months.
Yeah, when like it was more of a fashion trend than an actual movement.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Yeah. All right. Did you want to call it quits? I'm getting hungry.
You getting hungry?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll end it today. Let's finish it with a question.
Okay.
Question.
Where do you want to eat?
Favorite. This
Favorite foreskin.
This is a good question. Favorite foreskin.
Length. Okay.
What the fuck? This is a good question. Your favorite video in the past month.
In the past month.
Favorite video.
Oh, you ever see that? I don't know who the actor is, but search up Wikipedia the guy who played the little boy in E.T. like the main little boy in E.T. Watch his audition tape. That is like the most moving 2 minutes of your fucking life.
Really?
Like it was like 30 seconds in, I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, God damn, this kid's good. And then after the audition, the director's like, fucking, you got the job, kid. And I was like, God damn, son. It's over.
Shut the place down.
Yeah. Shit. This is gonna take me a while to think about. Favorite video in the past month. Past month would be May. This is June.
Yeah, May.
Man, I think May went by really fast.
Yeah, it did.
But anyways, let's wrap it up. Favorite video. Shit, it's so hard. There's so many videos out there that just strike you, but a favorite? I don't think I can name one.
One video that you saw recently. It doesn't even have to be in the month. Just guesstimate. You don't know when you watched it. You don't know when it was uploaded. Can't find that
something
shit
that
out.
I find really fucking weird is the brony culture. Like, I saw a video about these bronies just being assholes at McDonald's. Like a group of 10 bronies in a McDonald's just sitting, and they're just like singing and annoying the shit out of everybody. And man,
Wait, you saw that? Did you see any of that in you went to Anime North?
did I see bronies?
Yeah.
I saw bronies. I saw bronies, furries, all the weird shit, dude.
Oh shit. We'll upload.
Oh, I should have talked about Anime North. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah. You want to upload the pictures on the blog?
I only took like a few pictures. I don't have that many.
We'll
pictures.
take a picture of that Batman guy.
Yeah.
We'll show that.
Yeah. Before we end it, I gotta tell you. Here's a teaser. This Batman I saw was pretty fucking perfect. He was tall and intimidating as shit. He was like 6'3" or 6'4", and like he was pretty much Batman.
Yeah.
The only thing he was missing was his utility belt, and that's it.
And killing Joker.
And killing the Joker. All right.
All right,
Let's wrap this
guys.
up.
Let's wrap it up.